Okay, what up ladies and gents, it is your favorite Asian robot right here. It is hopefully your favorite Darktide partner as well, okay? The Wok, the people's champion, is now here to teach you guys about crafting. I've received a lot of comments by people asking me like, you know, how come this isn't the same as the video that you did before on crafting? How come that's not the same? There's been a lot of changes, okay, since the last time I ever did a video on crafting. And the crafting system has changed so that players can have a little more freedom and get things done a lot better, okay? But I do realize that with a lot of new players coming in, understanding the crafting system is probably crucial to your journey in Darktide, and so I'm going to do my best to walk you through it, okay? So, take this little journey with me and let me show you how crafting works in Darktide, okay? First and foremost, I'm going to remove my cam because you don't need to see my face for this thing, do you? Alright? Yeah, no you don't. You don't. I love doing that. Okay, so the first and most important thing you need to understand about crafting is that there are...
Each weapon is a relic. It should be cared for as such.
Shut up, Hadron. Okay, there are three main resources that you need, three main currency types. You can see them at the top right-hand corner of the screen. The first is Ordo Dockets. You will get this by completing any mission. Plasteel and Diamantine can be found in any mission as well. What do they look like? Well, I will be doing a sample mission showing people where to find Plasteel, Diamantine, and all that. But basically they look kind of like this. If you see stuff like that in your mission, the one on the very left hand side is called Plasteel. They can come with a single container, which is called a small Plasteel container, or they can come in big stacks like that, which is a large Plasteel container. The Diamantine is on the right hand side. That one that you're seeing is a big container of Diamantine, and there's the half size one, which is a smaller container of Diamantine. Please make sure to pick them up whenever you see them in missions because it is shared amongst the whole team. Even if you pick it up, your other teammates get it. So you don't have to save it for others. You don't have to think, oh, I've already got a lot of Plasteel, I don't need to pick it up. Just pick it up. It helps everybody. All right, this is how you end up with huge amounts of Plasteel and Diamantine that you have literally no purpose for. Okay? So that's the reality of things. In fact, Ordo Dockets are probably going to be your most used resource, and I'll explain why in a while. Before we delve into the crafting system, consecrate, refine, rebless, earn blessing, and all this kind of stuff, which I will show you guys step by step, your crafting journey begins by finding an appropriate weapon to craft. How do you do that? Your journey comes to the armory, all right? Your journey starts at the armory, comes to the armory. Jesus, I swear, some of the times that I say shit, I don't even know what I'm saying, all right? Okay, so your journey starts at the armory. In the armory, if you check back roughly every hour or so. I can't remember if it's an hour or half an hour right now. Either way, it doesn't really matter. You will have a number of items on sale, okay? What you want to pay attention to first and foremost is the item score, the base rating. This represents the total amount of points found in all of the stats, all right? So if we were to add up 80, 63, 78, 78, 62, you would end up at 360. Now, where the stats are allocated is random, which is why it's important to check the store or to roll via Brunt's Armory, which I'll teach you in a while. Checking this item, and like this particular item, for example, has the highest possible damage rolls, which is really great. They've got a really good finesse score of 78%, which is, again, really great. Okay, they've got a very decent mobility score, which is good. First target, not so high, but that's also okay because first target is not so important to this particular model of Force Sword, and the warp resistance is very high, therefore making this a very good Force Sword to have. Okay? If you wanted to, you could purchase it and then use it for all your crafting, but it's a Mark II, which I don't really use in combat, so I'm not going to bother. All right? Checking the stats is very important because the allocations, like I said, are totally random. Here we have a 300 stat weapon. It's got great damage, great stopping power. I wouldn't say, well, decent stopping power. 70 is decent. Great would be like 78 or 80. But the stability is literally trashed here at 17%, which means that this gun will never be accurate. So probably not a great idea to pick this gun up. All right. Inspect the stats of your weapon and know which stats you need. If you need in-depth knowledge on such weapons, take a look at my build guides, which will be coming out stage by stage. I know it's slow, but you have to give me time to test, bring them out stage by stage, and then I'll explain what weapons are the best, things like that. Later in future, I can do stat guides for individual weapons, you know, all that kind of stuff, but time needs to be taken. Builds will take priority first. Okay? All right. After this, you can just keep going through the store, taking a look at what they have to offer. I always keep an eye out for good deals, but in general, you want to look at those with a high rating here. The rating is made up of your perks and blessings, so what you want to pay attention to first is your base stat. All right, if the base stat is high, the weapon has good stats and is probably good to upgrade and consecrate and all that stuff in the crafting workshop, okay, that is run by Hadron. So taking a look through all this, I'll just quickly eyeball this. Like this one seems like a pretty nice gun. It's got a terrible blessing, decent perk. I don't own a copy, but I'm just gonna acquire it for fun. All right, I'm always on the lookout for good deals because you never know when a particular weapon might be buffed and become really strong, and then you will probably want to have it. So I ignore anything that has a base rating usually below 350 unless it's got ideal stats and I know that I can dump others. For those that are interested in acquiring Curios, this is also where you get them. Take note that the blessing on the Curio cannot be upgraded or changed, so you need a maximized blessing. For example, the max amount of stamina is 3. If you pick up one with 2, it's stuck at 2 forever. Okay, this may have changed. If it has, please notify me. I don't think it has. 1 wound is the maximum you can get. So if this one comes with like 1 wound, that's all right. That's the maximum you can get, and you can tell usually by the rating here. Okay. Now, Brunt's Armory is the second thing you're gonna need in this crafting journey. When you are searching for the weapon with ideal stats, your crafting journey starts here in Brunt's Armory. You can pick the exact weapon you want. In this particular case, I am looking for a Vrax model Headhunter autogun. I will acquire it. It will have random stats. I'll be taking a look at damage, stopping power, stability for the most part, as well as ammo. So what you can do is you can spend a boatload of dockets. Now this is where the dockets become important. You need to look for one that has high damage, high stopping power, generally good stability, all that kind of stuff. And you usually just roll kind of like a gacha until you get what you want. If the stats aren't that great, you're not going to have a good time because it will do less damage in the field. So I try to roll and roll and roll until I get something that is really, really suitable for me, and then I move on from there. Okay, this is a very important process that, you know, is how you this process is basically how you make your weapons great. All right, sometimes like that one had really low mobility but very good damage and stopping power. I'm gonna put that in the maybe pile in case I don't find anything better. But this gun, 378, it goes up to about 380. I think that's the maximum. Its stability is a bit bad, but we're gonna use this gun here as a crafting example. So we've just gotcha'd a really good gun. All right, didn't take that many pulls, thankfully, but this is decent enough. All right, so we start here. So you look for your 378. It'll be around in your inventory. There it is. 378. Stability is a bit crap, but we can make do with that. I fired worse. In fact, how much is my current Vrax? I think it's like 48 or something. Let's have a look-see. Yeah, my current one is 48, so this is an upgrade in stability anyway. Okay, 80% damage, 79% stopping power. I'm not going to say no to that. 78% ammo and mobility. Whew. This is doing good. All right. So now I've got my Vrax Headhunter autogun. Usually I'll try and equip the weapon that I'm going to modify in the crafting section because it is usually important to do so. Now I'm going to show you all of the different functions and features in the crafting workshop. First and foremost is the Consecrate feature. Consecrate is where you take your, so for example, we're going to take this gray Vrax, right? We're going to consecrate it and it's going to go up 1 rank, okay? So it'll cost you an amount of plasteel shown in the bottom left corner here, all right? And if I consecrate it, it will add a perk first and become green. Take note that the base stats do not change, but the rating does go up. Why? Because you've added a perk. We're going to do the same thing again, and it will show you that the next consecration adds a blessing. So we do that. This blessing allows for critical weak spot damage, deadly accurate, and it's a blessing we have not acquired before, so fair enough, we'll leave that there. I'm happy enough with it. Next, we move on, and the next blessing takes it up to purple, which is exalted, and you get another perk. So here we go. Let's get a perk. 25% damage versus infested enemies. Not very useful, but that's okay. We'll still take it anyway. All right, and then next round, you get another blessing, and it takes it up to gold, which is transcendent. All right, this will cost plasteel, diamantine. Okay, these costs stay pretty much standard.
Interesting.
Okay, so now it comes with surgical, where I get critical chance for every 0.2 seconds while I'm aiming. Okay, it stacks 10 times, discharges all stacks upon firing. That's fair enough for me. I can't really complain about that. Okay, we now have a transcendent Headhunter autogun. Now I'm going to teach you about two things. First and foremost, refining the item. Refining the item will allow you to change a perk. You can choose to change two things on an item. Rebless will allow you to change a blessing, but we're not going to change the blessing on this one because it's completely fine not to do so. All right. In fact, you know what? Just for shits and giggles, I may change it to Crush and Roulette in future, but I'd wait until I got another Deadly Accurate. Why? Because I have neither of these blessings, so I wouldn't want to sacrifice either one of these without getting an extra copy. Usually I'm like that. Surgical, I can leave it on here, but if I want to put, like, say, Crush and Roulette on it, I can change this blessing right now, and I can change it any number of times in future that I want to, as long as I pay the cost. There'll be a cost depicted down here. It's going to cost Ordo Dockets, Plasteel, Diamantine, and you can change it again as many times as you like, but you can only change two things on your gun. Maximum two things, that's it. All right? So you can choose to change both blessings, you can choose to change both perks. It's up to you what you want to do. All right? You can only have two modifications per item, as I said. So this time around, the blessings are fine. We're going to refine one of the perks. So we'll take this range damage versus groaners, poxwalkers, which you obviously don't need, and we are going to say change this over to, let's go with range critical strike chance. You can pick whatever perk you want for whatever tier. Just take note that it will have a cost based on the tier. There is nobody that's going to pick any tier other than 4, so let's not be ridiculous. Let's go straight to tier 4. This is the strongest blessing perk possible. We will put on range critical strike chance. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, I can remodify this as many times as I like, alright, without costing me a second modification. Let's do a test. Carapace armored enemies, right there, refine. As long as I pay the same cost, the number of modifications applied remains the same, okay? That's because I'm modifying the same perk. If I were to modify a second perk, I would lock out my modifications and that would be it. I cannot modify this gun any further, all right? But I can still change the two perks. Let's say I use both perks, right? And I modify both. I can change both perks as many times as I like, all right? So any modification you make is not permanent. It just basically means that that slot is open for change anytime, anywhere, okay? In this particular case, if I were to change this to be an ideal, say, Vrax gun for me, I would probably pick flak armor here as well as the second perk. All right. But anyway, this gun's rating now is 533, but the base stats haven't changed. This is how to consecrate, refine, rebless, all that. Let me show you about the earn blessing. This is the last part we're going to cover in this, and the earn blessing is how you get blessings to swap onto items. Let's take this Cantrail Mark IV just as an example, right? If I want to re-bless it, I can re-bless any of these with a number of blessings from any tier. Of course, you will want your tier 4 blessings above all. That being said, where did I get this tier 4 blessing? And take note that there are some missing blessings. You get these through the earn blessing feature. All right, so if you want to re-bless, just as an example, I can re-bless efficiency, say, with, oops, sorry. Let me re-bless efficiency right now with Ghost, right? If I wanted to change Ghost back to efficiency, I could do exactly that. Like that, all right? As long as I pay the cost each time. Now, if I want to earn a blessing, I have to search for a weapon, all right, that has a blessing that I want. The blessing will show up as shown before. Ah, you see this one? I have never earned a stripped down blessing from tier 1. So if I were to click earn blessing on this, I would sacrifice the weapon. All right, I don't really want to sacrifice this weapon because it's got really, really good stats. But I'll just show you an example. I would sacrifice the weapon and I would earn this blessing and be able to put it on another infantry auto gun. All right, let's see if I can find an example that is from a very crap gun. Okay, see this Vrax Mark III Headhunter auto gun? Okay, if I were to surrender this weapon, the weapon is destroyed, but I will get the Falter 2 blessing. All right. I have another Vrax Mark III up here. If I want to re-bless this one, just as an example, take note that I don't have a Falter blessing here. This Falter blessing does not exist, all right? I do have it, I think, in a higher tier somewhere. No, I don't. Apparently, I don't even have Falter at a higher tier. Okay, so I don't have Falter, period. But if I want to change this to Falter, all right, it will end up in tier 2. There's 2 empty slots here, right? Okay, let's go all the way down to that Vrax, earn the blessing. And now if I come up to my Vrax Mark III, up here, where are you? Here it is. And I re-bless it. Take note that Falter now appears here. Alright, so there's still one missing blessing. If you're ever missing a blessing, it'll come up with the magnifying glass and it'll be a different color on the weapon. It doesn't mean the weapon doesn't have the blessing, it just means that you haven't earned that blessing before, so you might want to sacrifice the gun if the stats are crap. In this particular case, I'm definitely sacrificing this gun. Well, it doesn't have any blessings I need, so it's just going to be recycled in future. But basically any gun with crap stats, chuck it in the recycle bin or sacrifice it for blessings. That's what you generally do to earn all your blessings. Then when you get a really good gun that you really like, that's when you start putting stuff on it. Now, the last thing you guys are going to need to know about is called weapon type. Why is weapon type important? I'm going to bring back my cam for a little bit because you guys need to know this. You guys need to know this. Weapon type is important because each weapon type can share blessings. How do you tell what is a weapon type? Okay, this is going to require a bit of explanation, but I want you to pay attention and follow along. A weapon type refers to this part after the mark and model, whatever, right? This part is your weapon type. So, infantry lasguns will share all their blessings. Take a look. This Cantrail MG12, all right? Let's, oops, sorry, I keep clicking on Earn Blessing. Let's go to Rebless. Take a look at the first tier just as an example, right? This, I've got Deadly Accurate, Ghost, Headhunter, Falter, okay? If I were to now go to another infantry lasgun, say the MG4, and I rebless, take a look. My blessings are exactly the same. Deadly Accurate, Ghost, Headhunter, Falter, all right? And tier 1 is the same because infantry lasguns all share blessings. If I were to go to a last pistol, for example, it does not share any blessings with the infantry lasgun. Take a look. My first tier is completely different. I've only got Reassuringly Accurate because I never earn any of the first tier blessings because nobody cares about that. I've got all the tier 3, but nobody cares about the first tier. Some blessings are only available at higher tiers. Tier 1 only has 6, tier 3 has 7. All right, so do take note of that. One example is Infernus. Infernus is not available in the lower tiers. It's only available from tier 3 and tier 4. All right, so take note. Weapon type is very important. If you get a blessing for a particular weapon type, don't hesitate to surrender it and don't think you'll need to earn it on a different model. As long as the weapon type is the same, they can share blessings. But, for example, on the Psyker, the Purgatus Force Staff does not share any blessings with the Void Strike Force Staff. Here's a quick example. Tier 1, my Perk has Warp Nexus and Warp Flurry. Okay, my Void Strike for tier 1 has a total of 5 choices and I've only got Warp Nexus. Do you see that? Okay, so these are 2 different weapon types. Yes, they're all Force Staffs, but this is a Void Strike. This is a Purgatus. Basically, everything after the name and the model, everything after this part is the weapon type. So keep that in mind. Recon lasguns all share blessings. Heavy last pistols all share blessings with other heavy last pistols. Surge Force Staff will share with other Surge Force Staffs. It won't share with Trauma, Void Strike, or Purgatus. Okay? All of that covers crafting in general. So, summary of this whole thing. Summary of the whole process. For those that are too bored or too lazy to watch this whole video, okay, here is a summary of everything in this video explained to you in one short sample without any of the examples and all that kind of stuff. Okay, ready? Here's the summary. First things first, you need to go to the armory, which is right here, to get your base weapon of any kind to upgrade. All right, sometimes you can find a good deal in there. First and most important thing to pay attention to is your based stats. If based stats, lol, base stats. All right, so your base stats will never change. This is the first and most important thing because base stats are always random no matter what weapon you get. Getting one with good base stats will make your life amazing. Getting one with poor base stats will make your life sad, okay? There you go. That's the first and most important step. Once you have a weapon that you like, make sure you come over to Hadron section, and then if the weapon is of the lowest quality, consecrate it until it's orange and hope that it gets good stuff. Your base stats won't change, but you'll get your perks and blessings. Once you have sorted out your perks and blessings, decide which ones you want to keep, much like this Vrax, decide which ones you want to keep and which ones you want to change. If you have never earned the blessing before, it is unwise to change the blessing out because you will not earn it, alright? It is better to wait until you have a copy of it, then start changing your blessings, things like that. Sometimes you have to just make do with what a weapon has, especially if it's a really good gun. You might have to just make do, alright? So just be aware of that. Other than that, knowing that you can refine and re-bless your item as many times as you want, as long as you pay the cost of doing so, is a great and most important thing that you must understand, all right? As you can see, you can re-bless it, refine it as much as you want. Just take note that you can only have 2 modifications per weapon. This means you can refine 2 perks, 2 blessings, or 1 perk, 1 blessing. As long as you've only got 2 modifications, that's it, all right? That is how to craft your weapons, make your weapons great, get the weapons you want, all right? Yes, there's a bit of RNG involved, but every game like this has some RNG. And honestly, they've improved the RNG so much since the first time this was ever released, all right? The reason why I chose to do a crafting guide instead of a newbie guide first is because crafting is a fairly in-depth topic, and I didn't want to miss anything out when I covered it, all right? So it was very important for me to produce this first, and then we'll produce the newbie guide so that people can refer to this crafting guide via the newbie guide. I swear my mouth today. Via the newbie guide, they'll be able to refer to the crafting guide, the mission guide, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna have this full process mapped out for new players because I know many of you are new to the game. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you enjoy my content, if you want to see more from me, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, set the notifications to all. You'll never miss a video, you'll never miss a show. More importantly than that, if you want to support the content, you can actually come by the streams and drop super chats. You can send super thanks on YouTube. You can join as a channel member. All of this gives you perks, benefits, and shout outs in every video. All right. We always shout out our top supporters every video because it's so important to us that your support helps us stay running. And of course, we bring that love back by mentioning you every single video. All right.
You are 3 cycles late for our meeting.
Wow.
I was busy, all right. Data work can wait.
I love the background conversations interrupting me. I swear to God. Anyway, thank you to the following individuals. Our top tipper this month is, for the month of October, is River Archer 124. Our top super chatter is Jason Kun. Our top super chatter list also includes River Archer 124. Thank you guys so much for supporting my channel, all right? And we also have our top membership list. Thank you so much to the following individuals who are keeping our content running. Starting right at the top, we've got Big Chungus at the only fan level. We've got Death Dawning 982 at Plus Ultra. We've got Jason Kun, Jerry Fast, Rogue Assassin, Zach MG at Prestige. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to our honored robots as well. They are the following individuals: Corey Ryu, Bob John Cube, Devin Lashin, Mookie Mocha, Rena, Chase Taylor, Nathan Strong, Lady Neo, Joey Danze, Syed Assad, Coda CMF, Kami SMH, Conrad C, and Benjamin Savage. Thank you to all of our cool and weird bots as well. I hope you guys will have a great time with us. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. I will see you guys in the next one. Catch you later and enjoy my crafting guide. I hope it helps.